Anyways, man,
Yep.
cheers.
Cheers. That's good.
You know, this is the first time, like, I mean, we drank this in the last episode too,
Yeah.
but this is the first time in a while that I've had Muroka Genshu.
Hmm.
I miss this. It was good.
You know, the thing about this is it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
It's just like really pleasant.
Yeah.
Right? So like some sake you get that's like really good,
Mhm.
but you're just like, it's like having cheesecake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
This is like a lot more subtle, but it's got a nice taste to it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got a lot going in it.
Yeah.
So once again, this is the Sotenden Crescent.
Yeah.
Tokubetsu Junmai Muroka Genshu. And I need to get this again. This is from Miyagi-ken.
Yeah.
From Kisenuma. Shi? It's like they got the ki no kimochi no ki with sendai no sen and then numa. I have to look that up later. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'll have to get this again.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
And so we're going to be talking about homeschooling today, because homeschooling is getting bigger in the United States.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, you know, I remember right around the time Lewis was born.
Yep.
I talked with Natsumi about how I wanted to do homeschooling because we have some friends who actually moved to Karuizawa and they're part of a homeschooling community up there.
There's homeschooling here in Japan?
Yeah,
I did not know about this.
They're Christians, so they're like very westernized.
Okay.
So I think for Japanese people, it's not really.
Yeah, it's like not even an option.
Yeah, but I remember because when I told Natsumi that I wanted to homeschool the kids, she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what? You know?
You know, I think a similar reaction would also happen in the US. Homeschooling has like a really negative stigma.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about homeschooling a couple times on the channel, right? And just to kind of refresh people's memory, it's like the negative stigma of homeschooling is like, first of all, it's really dependent on how much effort your parent puts in.
Yeah.
Right? You can have homeschooling parents who are like, just don't do their job at all. Right. And another there's two other stigmas associated with this. It's usually associated with religion, because a big reason why people homeschool their kids is they want their kids to have a specific upbringing.
Yeah, specific values. They think that the public school system is corrupting the values of the kids.
Yeah. And then the third stigma that homeschooling has is homeschool kids are not social.
Yeah,
they're like
awkward.
Socially inept.
Yeah.
Right?
Socially inept, that's a great phrase.
Yeah. And I think there's some truth with all of those statements. I think there are definitely examples of kids who are homeschooled and they show all three of those things or one of them, right? So I mean there's some truth to it, but at the same time, I think homeschooling is like actually pretty dang good if you take it seriously.
It can be, for sure.
Right? I'm gonna first bring this into the context of the US, but then like I think we can kind of transition it over into like what it could look like here in Japan. If I were in the US, I would actually consider homeschooling my kids. And the reason why is, broadly speaking, I think American educators suck.
Especially nowadays, yeah.
I think they suck.
Well,
I think...
Yeah, sorry.
Let me finish my finish my thought.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt me, even though I interrupt you all the time.
I'm sorry, sir.
So the reason why I think they suck, and I'm not saying all of them, but I am saying a great deal of people. Like I'll give you a perfect example. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day about this woman complaining about how kids can't read in the US.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there was some truth to that because, I mean, overall
literacy levels are going lower.
They're really not good right now, right? Which is crazy because in Japan, like literacy levels are like 99%. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Anyways.
And it's the hardest reading system in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, so this woman who's a teacher is complaining that kids can't read and that their thinking and reading comprehension levels are really low. And she's like, I was in my 8th grade class and I teach 8th grade history. And I was teaching them US history at this time, and I was teaching the kids like, okay, guys, so I think it's Pennsylvania. I don't remember exactly where, but there was like there was a Catholic society that was built in Pennsylvania, and it was considered a safe haven for Catholics in the United States because they're being persecuted
by the Protestants on the East Coast.
Yeah, right. And so because of that, there's a big Catholic population in Pennsylvania. And then she follows that up. I don't know if it's immediately after. She doesn't really go into detail, but she follows that up. She's like, later, I asked my kids, where are all the Catholics? And no one was able to answer the question.
Oh, really?
Here's where I stop respecting her story.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? If you think of exactly what she said, where are all the Catholics?
Yeah.
How is a kid supposed to know that? You taught them there's a big Catholic society in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but
you
that's
did
not
say all the Catholics live there.
Yeah.
You just said there's a lot of Catholics living there. And I think the thing is, so many educators today are stuck in this like old-fashioned mindset of like, give you knowledge, give me an answer back.
Yeah.
And they're just literally asking textbook questions, these kids. I don't think kids think that way anymore.
Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know about you. How old are you again?
35.
Oh,
I'm going to
really?
be 36 next month.
36 next month? Okay. Happy birthday. I'm going to be 35 this year.
There you go.
So we were kind of the same. We're the same generation. So, I remember in my high school class, I think it was my senior or my junior year, we got a new Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
And it was a former graduate of my high school who was in her late 20s who spoke Spanish with the worst accent ever.
Yeah.
And we all thought she was a joke.
Yeah.
Because she had no skills. She spent some time in Spain or wherever. And so she couldn't speak very well. Like, we had another non-native Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
But she at least had spent a lot of time and she tried really hard. The other one was like, oh yeah, this is just a job that I want. And it was so bad.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like the quality of teachers in the United States has really tanked. And because the pay is so low, the only people who want to do that are people who feel really deeply about it. They don't do it for the money, they do it for the mission. And that attracts people who
Extremists.
have an agenda and who are saying, I don't just want to teach the curriculum, I want to teach you how to think.
Yes.
And so you have a lot of teachers in America now teaching wrong think and right think, I think it's called. Yeah. Where you need to think a certain way. And because these people also, you know, they may have some training in teaching, but they're not super skilled. Otherwise, they'd probably get a higher paying job.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you have these lower skilled people who can't make that much money, who have this like strong mission in their life.
Yeah.
And what that does is that sets up students to get propaganda and to be taught a certain way to think and in not even a good way. Like you said, like the question framing was really bad in that too, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and here's the thing about kids nowadays. Kids are not dumber. Like, you see everywhere that people are saying kids are dumber nowadays. That's objectively false.
Yeah.
Human beings, cognitively speaking, have not changed in over 1 million years. We are just as smart as the cavemen 1 million years ago. We have not developed in our brains at all. You know, ability-wise, like, sure, we can do a lot more things than cavemen. I don't know how to hunt a saber-toothed tiger. I don't know if you do, but
I mean, I learned that in high school.
Oh, yeah, of course, right? So I don't know if like I don't know if actually even what I just said, like skills-wise, I don't know if that's even specifically true.
Yeah.
But we are not smarter than cavemen from millions of years ago. Kids these days are not dumber.
Yeah.
The problem is education today is based on knowledge.
Yeah.
Here's the issue.
Hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're going to love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening, and I mean a lot. As a friend of ours, you will get each episode ahead of time with no ads, so you can watch before anyone else. But not just that, you can ask us questions or leave comments, and we will make a special video each week answering questions and responding to comments. These videos will not be released publicly. They are for friends, members only. It's a great way for you to ask our opinions directly and for us to respond directly. You'll also get listening practice questions and answers that you can check. Answers are for friends, members only. Oh, and anaume mondai mo desu ne. So you can check your listening. But not just that, for each episode, you'll get a list of native phrases we said from the video, along with practice sentences and pronunciation practice to help your speaking as well. You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely.
This is a great way to support our show, but also get closer to us and improve your English as well. For more information, click on the link in the description box, the gayorang, or go to our website, austinandarthur.com.
Is based on knowledge.
Yeah.
Here's the issue with that, though. When we were growing up, how many times were you in math class where you weren't allowed to use a calculator because your math teacher would be like, you're not always going to have a calculator on you?
Now we do.
Fuck you, math teacher. I've got an iPhone.
Actually, I have something I really want
to do math anytime.
Actually, I need to share this with you because so in high school, my freshman year math teacher and my senior year math teacher was the same person, Mrs. Ryan.
Yeah.
And I remember freshman year, I really didn't like her because she was like, yeah, whatever. Here's the equation. Here's the way to solve it. Okay, do these things. And I didn't understand why we were doing it.
Yeah.
But then when I was a senior and I had a desk that was closer to her desk, and she and I would chat sometimes. And what she told me, though, was when she first started teaching, she really thought math was important. She really wanted to get the students to understand the fundamentals.
Yeah.
The problem is that
one, gives a shit about math.
Yeah, students don't care. And also the school board doesn't care. Yeah. They just want the test score. So she is just teaching so that they can get the correct answers on a test.
That
not
hasn't
if they're
changed
getting
at all.
Deeper understanding.
Yep.
Yeah. So how does this, though, then play into the whole homeschooling movement in America? Because that's getting a lot bigger now.
So I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there, right? So you have this situation where, like, you have these really antiquated, like, feed knowledge to students. The problem is kids today, especially this generation growing up right now, I'm talking about kids who are like 8 or 9 years old right now. They have grown up in their entire conscious life. ChatGPT has existed.
Yeah.
Right? So for the past 5 years, ChatGPT has existed, and it's only going to get better. Like AI is only going to get better, right? And we're past the age where a kid needs to know a direct answer for something because you can just ask AI, hey, what's 3 plus 4? You don't need to know what 3 plus 4 means as far as like an answer thing goes. The problem is, why do we teach these things to kids? Well, the real reason we teach them is because the more you're able to do like math, the more you're able to learn another language, it opens up different pathways in your brain and it makes you able to think faster. It's hard to tell a 7-year-old that.
Yeah.
They can't conceptualize, oh, if I learn this, I'll be able to think faster. You know? So you always get the question of, why do I need to know this? I can just have an AI answer this question for me. I don't need to know this. And it's like, I don't think a lot of teachers can legitimately answer that question, right? And I think that's why a lot of people are turning to homeschool because they're switching away from this like rote memorization where it's like, hey, what happened in Japan in 1874? Who the fuck knows, man?
Yeah.
Right? You can just ask an AI for that and it'll be able to tell you. But you're focusing on completing entrance exams because that's important in Japanese society, right? So you're focusing on being able to take those test questions. And then the other part of homeschooling, which is why it's really popular in the US, is exploring the interests that a child has, right? So if you get somebody who's musically interested, artistically interested, or whatever, right? Really honing in on that and turning that into an actual skill. And that creates a person who is capable of doing something, dude. Because like high school doesn't prepare you for anything in your adult life. There is nothing high school teaches you to be ready to become an adult.
Yeah, I think so. For the people I know who've gone down the homeschooling route, and granted, a lot of them were in religious circles, but there were a few things that made them decide to do homeschooling. And one was the fact that the quality of education is getting worse because we're getting lower literacy rates, lower test scores around the board. You also have the idea of because teachers are getting graded on their performance for the whole class. So they try to adjust to the lowest in the class. Like it's funny how in Japan they have like weighted test scores where you take like it's like the graded test scores where you take the average, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, because it's like,
oh my God,
it's
man.
like, yeah, but they do that because that improves the general performance on the test.
It does.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
So the absolute value is going lower, but the reported value is better. You know,
it screws over the kids who really try.
Yeah.
That's the thing that drives me insane.
Yeah, right. And then also, I think a lot of people feel that the public school in America has a cultural agenda trying to bring in certain ways of thinking and values that they don't agree with, you know, through sex education and stuff like that. Because like in America, the homeschooling movement, and in Japan too, the homeschooling movement is really religious. And, you know, personally, the reason why I was thinking about homeschooling my kids, because I don't think you have that cultural push in Japan as much as you do in the United States. But the reason why I wanted to homeschool my kids here was because I've seen the conformity that is basically forced upon the kids in school to be the same as everyone else. And I feel like that really kills the creative spirit. And so that's why I wanted to do homeschooling.
I would love to homeschool my kids here in Japan. I would love to, if I had the time to do so.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact is I don't.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I personally have a problem with when it comes to schooling here in Japan. I think Juku is basically mandatory.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like you go through your normal day as a student here in Japan. Let's say junior high or high school, just because I think we've talked about elementary school, and I'm very much in support of elementary school systems here in Japan. I think they're one of the best in the world, right? But when you go into junior high and high school, you go into this like system where, first of all, I think a lot of the teachers here in Japan suck at their job.
Okay.
I'm just on a hater spree today.
The only school that I've ever worked at in Japan was your former school. So I have no other baseline.
So, like I said, I think there's a lot of really great teachers. I think I've met a lot of teachers. I've been here in the education industry here in Japan for 10 years now. I've met a lot of really good teachers who take their job very seriously and make an effort to improve. But I want to highlight that last part because I'm going to ballpark this. I would say about 6% of the teachers that I've met here in Japan have made an effort to improve their teaching ability since they became a teacher.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a lot of like the pipeline for being a teacher here in Japan. You go through this education system, and the college system, the education colleges here in Japan will put in a pretty good job of preparing teachers to become teachers.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is after that, I would say, well, I said 6%, so I'm going to go 94% of the teachers that come out of that and become full-fledged teachers at a school do not make an effort to improve themselves after that. They don't learn new teaching methods. They don't update and keep track of, newer advancements and discoveries in their field that they teach. They don't attend seminars. Like that's a thing that I really don't understand. A lot of teachers here, they don't go overseas and attend seminars. What are people in Europe teaching in their subject?
Yeah, right.
What are people in the United States? How are you guys collaborating on that? They have no idea. They just learn about what is it, MEX?
Yeah.
The government in charge of
Ministry of Education and
the Ministry of Education. They just, okay, well, whatever you tell me to do, then I'm just going to form my curriculum based off that. Yeah. And that is such how can you teach somebody if you don't understand why you're teaching them?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And that's the problem that I have. And that's why I think we go into the situation where we have schools here in Japan where it's like a kid goes through their class where there's teachers that just lecture them for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And then they have a break. And then the next period, the same exact thing happens. And it exhausts. Try listening to somebody talk for an hour.
Yeah.
It's fucking exhausting, man. I'll fall asleep to that.
Yeah.
How can you expect a teenager to?
That's what college is like here too. Because it's like you put in your attendance sheet, you take a nap at the desk, and the teacher just lectures for 50 minutes, and then you're done.
Yeah. So what really happens in a lot of schools is the teacher will lecture for an hour. Maybe they'll do a couple exercises. The kid will fall asleep. They don't learn anything. And then they attend Juku, where the cram school teacher just literally drills them on how to pass a test.
Yeah.
And then if they're a diligent student, they're going to study for an extra 5 hours when they come home.
Yeah.
To get into this entrance exam. And then they pass, they get into a school and university. They don't really learn anything in university, depending on your degree. Yeah. There's some really good systems here in Japan, but there's some just useless systems, right? And then they graduate and become an adult. They get hired on in a company, and it's like pretty much accepted here at companies here in Japan. It's like, you don't know anything, so now we're going to finally teach you how to be a functional adult. Right. It's like by the time you are hired at a company and you're like 25.
And the company educates you.
Right? And for me, that's so insane.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of people agree with that. And a lot of people who think that way end up homeschooling their kids because they're like, screw all this nonsense. I'm going to teach you how to be a successful adult.
Yeah.
That's the core part of homeschooling is I'm not going to teach you how to pass a test.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to be an adult.
But ironically, in the States, homeschool kids have higher test scores than the average public school student.
Yeah.
So because they get the quality of the education, because they actually learn stuff,
Yeah.
Like there's this video that
much higher test scores I want to add too.
There's this movie that I like. I'm gonna show it up here. It's called Captain Fantastic, which I think is a really good movie about homeschooling.
Okay.
Have you heard this movie before?
No, never.
It's got Viggo Mortensen in it. He's the guy in there.
I like him.
And basically what happens is he and his wife, they
just call him Aragorn.
Just call him Aragorn. Aragorn is his wife. They take their kids into the woods.
Yeah.
And then they homeschool them for years.
Okay.
And basically they teach them, they go running in the woods, they give them physical fitness tests, and they give them education stuff. Like they teach them a lot and a lot of philosophy. And then the mom dies. And they have to go to the funeral. And it's about them like interacting with society after living in the woods for years.
Yeah.
But it's really great because there's the kids are socially awkward. And then the older son, like there's this girl he likes, and she makes fun of him because he's so socially awkward. And so he's like, Dad, I hate you. Why would you do this? And you have that struggle. But then there's this one scene where the parents, like they basically go to their friend's house as they're trying to go to the funeral,
Okay.
And so they spend the night at their friend's house, and they have two boys who are just playing video games all the time. And the boys playing video games are making fun of the other kids because they're so awkward, And then the next day, the parents talk to Aragorn, talk to the dude, be like, I think you should really put your kids in society, help them adjust better. He's like, why would I do that? I want them to grow up to be smart, self-directed adults.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but they should be normal.
Yeah.
And then he calls his daughter down, who's like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And he asked the boy sitting there who's on like his Nintendo Switch or whatever. I don't know if Nintendo Switch was around at the time. He saw on his Game Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
And says, hey, so can you tell me like what the first 10 not appendages of the Constitution? What do you call the amendments? What are the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? The guy's like, what's that? What's an amendment? He doesn't know. And then the daughter like is able to like recite the preamble of the Constitution and talk in detail about the Bill of Rights, those are the first 10 amendments, you know?
Yeah.
But talking about like why they're important. And like that was really impactful for me because you could see it as she's just like regurgitating knowledge that she's been taught.
Yeah.
But you can see that she's actually like a deeper thinker.
There's another level.
Yeah. And so like I wanted to ask you personally, like, have you like what's been your experience with homeschooling? Like, have you seen people who've been homeschooled?
Yeah, I have. My sister Chelsea. Okay. You've met Chelsea.
Yeah.
She homeschools her kids.
Okay.
And it would like
how does she do that?
I've mentioned it. I've mentioned it a couple times on the channel. It was a really controversial thing in my family.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not really approving of it, but I think over time it's like really showcased like how amazing this is. So how she does it is my sister. I think Chelsea might have. I have to talk to her about this, but I think she might have initially started by doing homeschool herself.
Okay.
I think, but I know how they do it nowadays is they have a like a community teacher.
Yeah.
So basically, she sends her daughters to like school, which is more or less their neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And there's like a group of like 6 to 8 kids that this person, like they're basically a teacher. They educate their kids there. And it's really, really cool because it's a very small, tight-knit group. It's effective because it gets around the stigmatism of like homeschool kids don't communicate and socialize well. Because it's like, okay, well now you got like 8 kids together.
Yeah.
So there's like a social dynamic that can form there.
Yeah.
But it's also a very small and personal environment where it's like, if you're teaching 8 kids, you have time as a teacher to really focus on each individual kid. It's like, hey, look, do you understand this? Okay, well, you have some questions. Let's slow down and talk about this. You can't do that with 30 kids.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm teaching a class and I have like 35 students, which is like, I would say about the average class size here in Japan, right? You have about 30, 35 kids. Sometimes you can go up to upwards of 40.
Yeah.
I don't have time to even give attention to 10, like a group of 10 students.
Yeah, right.
You don't have time to do that, right? You're just like, here's the things on the board. This is the task we're going to go through, and we're going to focus on this. So that's how they're attacking or approaching it, I should say.
Yeah.
And I think homeschooling can be that, but you also see parents teaching their kids also.
Well,
like it can be either or.
I feel like now because like homeschooling is getting a lot bigger in the States that you actually have what is effectively private schools.
Yeah.
Just really informal private schools.
Yeah, it's really informal private schools, but I really want to highlight one more thing. So one thing that I notice or I observe when I'm with my sister and her family I'm aware of how much time that her daughters spend with their family.
Yeah.
So they do constant family trips.
Okay.
And yeah, they're wealthy for sure. I mean, they're millionaires. They have a really nice place and everything. But they don't really like go to Hawaii or do like the like what you would imagine rich people to do. Like they go on camping trips all the time.
Okay.
They spend a lot of times like just going to like local places or like going outdoors and doing something. And my sister's constantly sending me like pictures of, it's like, look, we went camping this weekend and we spent this amount of time, or, look what, so her oldest daughter, Sasha, youngest is Sadie. She's like, look what Sasha's able to do. Look at Sadie was just able to do this. And I noticed that like they are spending way more family time than the average kid.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, a big problem with society is kids are not spending enough time with their families.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, I think that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to make sure my son gets picked up from daycare at 3:30 and not 4:30 or 5,
dude,
you know?
You're shaming me. I
know,
pick up my daughter at 4:30.
No, I'm not trying to shame you, but
no.
that was like another thing too where it's like...
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I understand, like, you know, my son, he's not even 3 years old. But I understand...
It's going to be 3 soon, right?
Yeah.
Next month?
Yeah, in February. Yeah, so
Crazy.
He's already, like, talking tons. It's crazy.
Luna talks a lot, too.
Yeah.
Luna says some really hilarious stuff.
Yeah. But, like, I understand, like, being with other people is good, and I think he should go to daycare, but especially up until about the age of 5, you really need a lot of time with the family, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's funny, though, because we were talking about that aspect of homeschooling, which is very intentional with other groups.
Yeah.
But I remember in... this was 2008. I think it was 7, one of those. I went to Montana. For a missions trip. Like I was I was in a Christian group, right? And it was part of my youth group.
This sounds really cringe.
You know what? At the time, I liked it. So just
I love God. Let's just go to Montana.
Well, it's funny because it's like you have to preach to the people who've already heard the gospel but still don't believe. But anyways, I was like really into Christian stuff. Every Wednesday we had youth group where we would go to church or go to the pastor's house and hang out.
Yeah.
And but yes, we did this trip to Montana, and it was this summer camp, this Christian summer camp, and we were staying there, doing a camping trip, but then also doing some missions work, talking to locals. Yeah. And they did homeschooling, but they lived in the middle of nowhere because it's Montana. There's like a population of 5 people in their town. And
I mean, in the state, basically.
Yeah, basically. And there were 6 people.
Yeah.
Not 6 people. There were 6 kids.
Yeah.
And they all had names that started with D. They all had names that started with D.
This is Debediah. This is
Daniela. This is...
Debediah 2.
One of the kids' name was Dean. I know that's for sure. His name was Dean. Danelle was another girl. Danelle was a girl.
Yeah.
But those kids were weird, man.
You can just tell that they wanted Daniel.
Yeah.
But then they had a girl and they're like, shit.
Well, no, they already had a girl. They already had a boy named Daniel. So they had to do Danelle.
Well, how can we make a girl named Daniel? Danelle.
That's a good Christian name.
It's a good Christian name right there.
But what was funny though is because, you know, they really didn't see many other people other than their family, and I feel like, you know how a lot of non-Japanese people, when they come to Japan, they get kind of thrown out by how weird Japan is. This is especially before social media, like back in the late 90s. Things were just so weird here because it was so different because everything was so much more isolated and insular. And I feel like homeschooling, up until recently, that was the model where if you homeschool, you don't spend time in the outside world and you just get weird. You know?
Yeah. I also feel like that time in Japan was like when Japan like focused on like hyper, what's the word? God, I'm drunk. Hyper consumerism.
Yeah.
And so it's like when I think of like hikikomori or like it's just like otaku in general, a lot of that is like 90s nostalgia kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like anime. It's like where are all the anime otaku? They're really into like the 90s anime, right?
Yeah.
You know, where are all the like the really big fashion trends from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like I think that was like Japan's weird phase.
Yeah, and it's I feel like with kind of like, you know, we talked about in homeschooling, I feel like with social media in Japan, because now when I first went to Japan in 2007, Mixi was everywhere.
Bro. Oh,
Mixi.
Man, that takes me back.
Mixi. Do you know they came out with a Mixi 2 recently? That's supposed to be like an app-based Mixi?
No one gives a shit because everyone still uses Instagram.
Yeah.
Like literally Instagram. And honestly, like we've gotten to the point where it's like, I feel like my wife, for example, who's Japanese. If you guys don't know.
Is she?
She is.
I had no idea.
She's from Kyushu. She's like true Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Oita. Anyways, she uses Instagram way more than Line.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of people here are like kind of switching over to that.
Yeah.
It's like not even Line's like a really big deal anymore.
Well, no, well, you can kind of see how like, because now everyone has the same media source and everyone has the same interaction, it's really kind of opened up the media consumption to being a global thing. And so I feel like nowadays, like the younger generations are much more like general modern culture instead of like Japanese.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
Yeah. Anyways, well, this was good. I don't know what else we can.
No. I think we've put a nice little ribbon on it.
Do you guys know anyone else who has done homeschooling? Let us know.
I'm really interested about homeschooling in Japan because I have never heard of anybody doing it here.
It's mainly Christian groups and international Christian groups, but people with money too. Anyways, but if you know anyone, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort to homeschool your kid. It's a lot of work. A lot of people think, I was like, oh, how hard is a teacher's job? It's fucking hard. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Being a teacher is not easy.
Yeah.
Like, there's this stigma of like, oh, yeah, those who can't teach.
And those who can't teach gym.
Yeah. Also, fuck off. Because gym teacher's job is real hard, too.
Yeah.
But being a teacher is not easy, okay? It takes a lot of effort, and you have to have an ability to become a leader.
Yeah.
But anyways.
We can talk about that next time.
We can talk about that next time.
Drunk Austin, bye-bye.